just now remembered that.
Okay, Nancy, can you give us any insight here? I mean, what's the good piece? Is there any bad pieces, any downside to, has the city ever leased?
Not in my time here. Now that's not to say, it's not impossible. I would think council would want to enter into a lease agreement at what cost. I wouldn't venture to guess if, and maybe you don't need one, but I think in the lease agreement you'd certainly want to, require proof of liability insurance on them that they had, so that the city was indemnified from anything that would happen up there. I think the other thing you would want is a stipulation covering any damage to the grass should it be muddy and they go ahead and use the ball field anyway.
Management property, basically.
Yeah. I think your lease would want to include something that takes care of, gives it.
What kind of security would be up around it?
I think that would be something you put in your lease, is to require certain security if they're having a beer garden. Is it a bad idea? No, but I think there's certain requirements that the city, because it's a private entity that you're leasing it to, you should, ask for.
Right, because you'd want Dolly and Matt's liability insurance as one layer, and you'd want the promoter's coordinator, whatever he is, liability as another layer.
Right.
Because they're going to sue the city, but if we've got those other two layers to go through first. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I have to abstain.
Oh,
Would Dolly's have to apply for an off-premise liquor license?
Yes.
She has that.
Yeah, we have that.
She has that already. She has that with her mobile catering.
could we do this?
But I think she has to have a special one from the city. She did in Lytton have to have a special one, yeah. It's like and the council would need to approve a liquor license up there too.
What about security? Will they be fencing it off at all, or snow fencing
Won't have
it
to
off?
if we did it like Cleats last year, they hired two, I don't know where they come from.
If you have a beer garden, you almost gotta have some kind of fence in there.
Yeah, if we didn't have a beer garden
We
last year.
didn't last year.
It had security roaming around, and the guys could just.
See, that's not a good thing.
If you have a beer
Minors
garden,
trying
you
to-
have to have it fenced.
It's not
Yes.
a garden.
No.
But if you still,
It's
there were
just-
minors around
But
there. minor
they're
first
legal
beer.
to walk around with beers?
They did last year at Cleats.
Oh, you know what I mean?
They may have done it, I don't know how legal
They
it
had
is, but
security roaming
Done it
the whole
last year
thing.
and got away with it.
Well, that would be the
That's the premise location is included in Dolly's application, and yes, I'm thinking this out loud. The premise location is in her application, and is in her application that is approved by her dram shop insurance. And no, we did not have, we allowed them to operate out of the concession stand and gave her a liquor license last year to do this, and we did not pay security last year. At the 125th, we did.
Yeah, but last year we didn't.
There was security there last year at that car show.
Only if the sheriff's office happened to be in town and walked through is all.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was
because
some.
Brewster was there. I
Yeah, I
asked
think that's
Brewster
what
to
it
come and he walked around, checked it out.
Could we work out something where we toss this over to the city attorney? Give him the situation, give him the parameters, and Dolly pay for the cost of consulting our city attorney. And if he says it's a go, would that be fair, and that would be the cost of?
Yeah, I don't see any problem with that.
I
Probably,
just feel better if some
Well-
little person
They're gonna
said,
do that
Why
with the
can't we
other
get
car
that
show
from
then
here?
too, Jane, if they have beer? Then you gotta do it with cleats too.
Yeah.
well,
You can't
maybe,
do one and
maybe.
not the other.
I don't think we can afford to look the other way, right? Don't we need to do it the way it's supposed to be
Yeah,
done?
we gotta
Did it illegally last year.
I don't think what we did last year was illegal.
Well, there was a lot of
As-
beer around.
There-
Public grounds, public.
As long as they stayed within the
classified as
confines.
a park.
I just-
Yeah, I just,
Yes.
you have to do one for the
My
other.
concern, you know how it is.
Ask-
One
Is that classified as a park up there, or is
He
it
knows.
city,
It's just city property, I don't think we really,
just city property, not designated park?
but yet,
Baseball
Why
park.
can't Ken do that instead of us paying the attorney?
Well, I guess because the attorney is the one that's on the hook when he gives us advice. In my opinion,
It's our
we
insurance.
don't go by precedent, we don't go by, it's worked in the past, so don't say anything, look the other way. My preference would be consult the city attorney, whatever it costs, $100, and surely Dolly pay that to, Dolly and Matt pay that to have
Jimmy,
it,
criminal
have
code books.
the,
criminal code book?
have it done right.
State
And
Iowa books.
the rec
Why
committee,
would I have that?
A lot of cities do.
I don't.
I guess you're asking
Look
us
on
to
the
make
computer.
a decision and to allow alcohol up there.
Yeah, it just
and
read-
I
Nobody's
guess,
got a legal
refers to
background
state law.
to make that decision.
no.
No, I don't, I think in this situation, because it's a new situation, that any lease the council would enter into should be passed past the attorney. Okay? Now, that does not preclude you guys from tonight from saying to Dolly and to Matt that we're in favor of this, provided we work out the details.
Pending the determination from the attorney, that's what I mean.
Right, and my understanding is they need some kind of encouragement to move forward from you guys tonight to continue to work out this, but we have until the 1st of September to work out the details, if you guys are amiable to that idea.
Right, but I don't want to say, yes, we'll do it tonight without the attorney hearing about the situation, getting the details, and giving us in writing what our parameters should be.
What we gotta have in place.
Yeah, is that fair? That's, I think
And I
that's
think
how we
we're
protect
okay.
ourselves.
I think, I think Matt and Dolly are okay if we take this into the next meeting in July. It can't go beyond that.
Wait that long.
Yeah, I don't
Because he's
either.
looking for a place. I mean, he's
He
gonna
just
bring in
wants
a
a
couple
yes or
hundred
no.
people for 2 days worth of business.
You know,
Well,
Into
I
the city
mean,
of Auburn.
you guys, I hope you understand, because if something does go wrong,
okay, in the perfect world, if everything gets worked out to your satisfaction, are you a yes or a no? That's the question right now. If, in the perfect
I
world.
will be a yes when I see the letter from the attorney that says
Okay.
this is workable and the city is covered as much as possible in terms of liability.
Okay.
That will be when I will say yes.
Okay, Randy,
That's what I'm fine with.
Justin? Okay.
Same.
Next question for me, and we'll jump those hoops and I, if that's, I guess, that's about as far as we can go. However, are you gonna require a rental fee?
I don't see a need for that
Okay.
if they could pick up our legal costs.
Okay,
That's
Okay.
what I
Rental
meant.
fee would be illegal, yeah.
Yeah, we get something in writing from the attorney that says it's a go. It's possible to do this, and you minimize the liability to the city.
okay. And I don't think this is gonna be a great big issue to wade through.
And I
I
don't
think
want
it's a
it to be a
matter
big
of, if you, and here's the other thing, I think as part of any lease, if they're gonna have a beer garden, I think it's,
They're not gonna have a beer garden.
or a beer, they're gonna sell
Walk
beer.
around.
Let's use the right term.
Well, that's what I mean. It's
They're gonna
beer
sell beer, they're gonna provide alcohol, it's on Dolly's license to make sure that no one underage is drinking, okay? That is on her license, it's her exposure. However, that doesn't mean that in this lease, council could not require that they have one, or I think one, a God's many, but they could have one on-duty security officer to make sure that that happens. That,
But
Now-
I would hope that would be some of the suggestions that would come from the attorney.
no, probably not.
Here's what the Iowa code says. The person shall not use or consume alcoholic liquor, wine, or beer upon any public street or highway. A person shall not use or consume alcoholic liquor in a public place except premises covered by a liquor control license.
There you go.
There you go.
So if she got an off-premise license to cover that for that, I think you're okay. As long as it stays on that property.
Yeah, if they go on the street or
If they're
cross
on
the street
walking
or leaving,
down the street with a beer, then it's
Fair game.
That's the same
It's
thing,
free game, yeah.
that's the same thing like Lytton. We
Yeah, you
had,
couldn't
people,
in
we
the
had
bear
our
garden,
own
we had to
security
keep 'em in the bear garden.
Right.
there, and we had zero problems.
Yeah, zero
Yeah.
problems.
We had zero problems at Lytton.
I,
We didn't even see none of the guys. walking
that's
around. You guys
good
running
news,
around.
but where I'm at is, we described the situation to the city attorney. The city attorney gives us back a letter that says, yeah, I don't see any pitfalls in this, and we're good to go.
Okay.
That's my motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It works, that's fine.
I abstain.
I do too.
Ken already said he was gonna police it.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I heard that.
Yep.
You know, and I don't know if it just happened to work out
I think
last
it
year
was-
because Dan
Pass.
happened to be on duty and he just kind of patrolled,
There's
walked
just,
through.
there's a fine line when the alcohol served anywhere though, you gotta watch.
Oh, and then it
That's
falls
just
on
the
the thing for the city's car show. If she's serving alcohol there, then it's,
Yeah.
again, on her for the minors.
Right, and Dolly, Matt, whoever would pick up the cost of getting that interpretation from the attorney. And that would be our fee.
Why didn't we do it last year then? For that car show?
Well, we should have,
Yeah, we should have.
yeah. So then we correct a mistake, we don't.
Yeah,
Continue.
and we gotta pay for it. The way
Yeah,
it looks
depends
now.
on who you are, I think.
You would have last
Oh,
year
no.
too. If you're gonna sell
Well, we
beer
are
up
now.
there, I mean, really.
It won't be a big deal.
He might just okay it and then charges in there. It's a matter of just looking at the book, it's pretty simple.
Especially since I'll probably write the lease.
It's a pretty simple deal,
Oh.
yes or no.
Well, he needs to know the issues.
Okay, guys, moving on. Thank you, Matt.
Oh, yeah, thanks guys. I'm gonna go get my kids.
Consider purchase of a watering tank. Nancy did get some different prices today. This tank would be to water the flowers. Do you put, the one that you use now, Jerry, is yours, and do you put it in the back of your pickup, or do you put it in a trailer?
It's on a trailer.
On a trailer.
So the trailer's yours too, Jerry? Describe the equipment we're talking about, please.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about right now, so explain.
You're talking about
what you're
purchasing a water tank.
So we don't have to use yours.
asking. That's not, I mean, I don't know what you guys.
Oh, I
want.
thought we were buying yours from your.
No, no,
Okay.
no.
I don't even know what you guys are even looking at or whatever.
We don't either. So
We don't
she's just
either.
asking you what you've been using.
Well, yeah, it's my tank and trailer.
Does the city
So-
even have
You
a
mean there's not
trailer
enough
for a
fire
water
hoses
tank?
or fire hydrants along here to water on?
So he's using his own equipment, so I guess that's why it's on the agenda.
Okay.
I never brought this up, but I mean, it's just, I mean, you can't get a 50 or 100 gallon tank, what are you gonna pull it with?
Well, that's what we're discussing.
Okay, that's, all right,
Yeah.
discuss this part.
Yeah, that's what we're discussing, we're trying to figure it out.
So you cannot water, and I'm just asking because I don't know, Jerry, I'm not being critical. You cannot water the flowers and that sort of thing from the fire hydrants. They don't regulate down enough that you can,
That's kinda illegal.
it is?
Yeah, you're not supposed, fire hydrants are for a fire, suck the hose out, and then it's not really made for sprinkler system.
Well, it's not a sprinkler, but I mean, is there a, can it be regulated down, I'll call it, to adapt it to water the flowers?
What did I just say? You cannot really come out a hydrant to water the flowers.
Okay.
Hydrants are for fires.
Right, because contamination is sucked down through that line and goes into the water mains.
We have 2 water tanks or 2 that we bought last year that we used them. Somebody from Lakeview, I don't know if Jerry knows who it would be, those square tanks that we have sitting up by the garden. We bought them last year, each of them for $20. We had to rinse them out. but I could probably use that.
Oh,
and
big
water the-
plastic pallet looking thing?
Yes, we could probably
yeah.
water some of the flowers. We got one we're not using.
Then you gotta have something to pull on to go on.
We got a dump trailer. Right now it's up at Tanner's getting modified.
Then we're using your equipment instead
Yeah,
of
it's
Jerry's
not a big
equipment.
deal.
It's the same as me, it's
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
Okay, well then
We
where's
could
the deal
purchase a
coming
lot of
from?
other better,
It
other
ain't for
stuff
me.
too.
Okay,
It don't bother me to use my
No,
my stuff.
before we go any farther, this is on the agenda because council's on record telling Jerry he can't use his own equipment for city things. So if you're going to allow him to do that, go on record and allow him to do it for this instance or something else. But I didn't want Jerry in trouble because you guys found out he's using his own equipment again, and we've been trying very hard to avoid that. That's it, okay?
and actually the council's direction was that we didn't think it would be, it's not conducive to, it's not productive to use Jerry's equipment. And then of course there's that, even though Jerry's never indicated a payback is due, but it's not the right employer-employee relationship.
Right.
Okay, so I would make a motion that we make an exception to our rule for the watering equipment and that Jerry be allowed to continue to use his equipment to water.
So, because I got a new dream on it, so.
We have a new what?
I got a new dream about how to water this stuff, so.
Oh, we have a new design.
It's
Yeah.
kinda like the street pageant.
Okay, you got my
It works, it
motion.
works though, don't it?
That we allow Jerry to continue to use his design to water the water garden, or the flower
What's your
garden.
design?
You just wait. There's gonna be water just floating around there and everything, you know. Don't
Awesome.
go down Main Street though.
Are you gonna start salting the clouds, are you, for
Yeah.
rain?
Okay, I have a motion on the table, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. But I suppose we have to get up at 4:30 in the
To
morning
watch
to
it.
see that.
You have to get up a little earlier than that because the traffic is just horrendous on this Main Street. So you gotta kind of do it with, you know, not the traffic because,
You got helicopters up and flying over or what?
no, I got a
Firefighter.
drone. I got a drone.
Okay, we need to approve cigarette permit for Sparky's.
So move approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Consider the fire station policy, and Nancy put that into resolution 1410.
You want me to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, go
Just-
ahead.
Yeah.
Went to the meeting, I take it.
I did, but I did not sit through the whole meeting. I met with Randy and several others. I can't remember off the top of my head who it was, but it was a group of the fire department people.
Okay.
So what I'd offer up today, and this is acceptable to them, is what we basically added to all of these 1 through 6, where appropriate, is with permission of the fire chief and formal approval by the city council. So that gives the fire chief permission, and the formal approval must be taken by the city council. So the building, you can go down. And number 2 did not have any word change in it, I do not believe. Number 3, again, the same language, permission of the fire chief and formal approval by the city council. The same for number 4. The truck bay, we added, I added,
I kind of changed your sentence around just a little, but I think it still means the same thing.
okay, basically involving the township trustees as far as input. So.
Which one on number 4?
Five.
Number 5.
Number 5. It's basically just saying, the Auburn Fire and Rescue and the trustees.
Trustees never use it, but,
As storage for trucks and
Not
Just
equipment.
the trucks.
yeah, just trucks.
Okay, Yeah, and I think the original, it was except by permission by the fire chief and approval by the city council.
Did you ever call the attorney, Nancy?
No, I did not.
How do we know where our rights are as a city in regards to this?
Well, it's always the city's, as the city owns it, it's always the city's.
I know that.
First,
That's
last,
why I
and
wondered
always.
Why it was, they weren't called.
Because I didn't get the changes until this morning, to be real honest, or, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't called him about it. I can send it down to him for his thoughts on the matter. Number 6 was another addition that, from what you looked at earlier, that just makes everybody aware in this resolution that council may modify or change this by resolution at any time. Okay?
It's just nice to know what our rights
Yeah,
are. as a
in my
city.
humble opinion, Cindy, all this does is include the fire chief in the discussion but still allows the city council to have full control.
But
And
if you want to defer it until the city attorney looks at it,
I just wanted to know what our legal rights were, Jane, that's all. I just
I
wanted to
don't
know
know,
what
there's
our
nothing
city
wrong with
rights
that.
were.
Well, do we want to table it?
No, just let it go. I just wanted to know if we have problems, and we'll just have to go from there.
Well,
I
she
just
can
want to know what
make the
our...
call tomorrow,
Yeah,
Cindy.
it's all right.
We can put it on hold.
No, it's okay.
you sure?
Oh, wait.
We'll wait.
Well, and that's, that's fine as long as if everything goes okay. There should be no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just go, that's fine.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept resolution 1410.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, sorry.
Aye.
Okay,
Abstain, me too.
Okay.
we're on the fire department.
I don't want to give you the draft there.
Okay, we're gonna review some ordinances, and the first one is on ATVs. And this ordinance is actually not the city ordinance, it's actually Sac County ordinance for the ATVs.
Is that why you're here?
What I understand,
No.
they just have a problem with you being here.
He's been out there all the whole time.
Yeah, I know. I knew there was something else.
I thought about it.
I knew there was something else.
Oh, it's not, that was different, that's golf cart.
That's the wrong one, Randy. That's a
that's
good one.
around one.
I know what the county one says.
You know what the county one,
Yeah.
well, that's.
That's
for-
funny because one of the supervisors that I questioned about it didn't know what it said.
They're supervisors.
We're not paying-
Yeah, they're just gonna vote on it.
So the county has come up with this ATV.
There is a discussion amongst the county board of supervisors. There is some interest in authorizing, the board of supervisors can designate county roads as ATV, UTV routes. Okay? There's been some interest sparked up in the Lakeview area to get this so people can drive their ATVs, UTVs around the lake. However, that lake is that road is a state maintained road, which precludes by Iowa law, you can't ride your ATV and UTV on any state maintained road. So,
To be fighting the state.
So what's the purpose of this?
well, the purpose of this is that essentially what it is the farmers can do it now, so everybody else should have the right to do the same thing the farmers get to do.
That's true.
I agree
And,
there.
and that's kind of the theory behind that is a farmer can say, I'm gonna go check my cattle in Timbuktu and ride an ATV all over the damn place where,
You're trying to get a license.
X, Y, and Z can't. And, a farmer has a one-time license on their ATV where by this ordinance, you're gonna be required to register your ATV or UTV with the treasurer's office with DNR in order to operate it on a county roadway. And you have to be 18 years of age to do that instead of 16. So,
That's good, though.
I
So
don't
this-
really know where Crawford County passed one, and that's kind of where all this is a spin-off of Crawford counties. The sheriff's office doesn't have a strong feeling either way. The board of supervisors wanted all the cities to take a look at this because, you know, how that's going to affect is if the city of Auburn doesn't pass an ordinance such as this, then in theory, you can't hop on your ATV from your house and drive it out to a county road. So you would have to trailer it to the city limits, then unload it legally and drive it.
So you're saying our city ordinance is no good?
No, I'm not saying your city ordinance isn't any good.
But if
We
we
wouldn't
don't
be able to
agree,
drive the county road anyway, we only have state highways that leave here.
Right,
Right,
you
I mean,
you
technically-
can cross them.
You can cross it, like we could cross,
Grant.
by the ball diamond.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep, you
I
can
see.
cross them, you just can't drive down them. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and ATVs and golf carts are two different animals?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
yes.
yeah.
ATVs go faster, right?
What's that?
They go faster.
Well, yeah, they're gonna have to
40,
maintain
50
the,
mile an hour.
they're gonna have to maintain the posted
What,
speed
80,
limit.
90?
blah, blah,
Really?
blah.
But what I don't understand is if we have, the city of Auburn has an ordinance that states we're allowing people to go from their home right now out of town, riding them, then where would we benefit from passing this?
Well, they can't go out and ride them out in the country.
And it's still not legal right now.
It's illegal to do that unless you're a farmer. So you can't hop on your ATV and ride that out in the country and drive it up and down the road or even in the ditch. That's illegal.
I can't go from my home,
No.
To grant,
no.
No,
Unless you're a farmer.
no,
So you gotta have a farm garden or something.
yes. It has to be ridden on private property.
you gotta have a tomato patch out somewhere.
You have to be a legitimate
No,
farmer.
it's animal
It's
husbandry.
animal husbandry, yeah.
It's
It
not
has to be a
crop
legitimate
farmer.
farm purpose.
Have to have chickens out there.
Which isn't fair.
Tie a chicken up to the fence.
No, so I mean, you know,
So
that's,
equals the playing
That's why you're
field.
trying to fix it.
well, that levels the playing field. I don't know
If it were-
where the board of supervisors are gonna land on that, if they're going to approve that or not. I know they wanted all the cities to have a copy of that in the event that they did pass that, you know. But the city can pass your own ATV, UTV ordinance like your golf cart ordinance and allow them to be driven in the city streets. Again, you can't drive up and down
71.
Pine Street here, because that would be illegal, and you can't drive up and down 175 because that's illegal no matter what your ordinance says.
You can just cross them.
You can cross them, but you can't drive down them.
So
So you couldn't hop on your ATV and drive down the post office. Unless you're
Along
gonna
this
park
side.
over here and walk, and-
Down the alley.
yeah.
And I can't get on my snowmobile and go out to the ditch either.
So,
No, we have an ordinance for ingress and egress on the
That's what I
snowmobile.
thought.
We're not even
And that's
talking
what I
about
was trying to
snowmobile.
get out,
This is
get at.
summer.
We would need to, I think, address that if that's something council wants to allow, you would have to address the ingress and the egress for these to get to the county road within the city limits.
and if you're gonna do that, you might as well just pass an ordinance allowing them to be operated in your city streets.
But tonight, we're just discussing it.
Right,
It's just a
right.
survey. You're just
Yeah, we're
going
not-
back to the
Yeah, we're not
supervisors
approving,
and saying Auburn seemed like.
I'm not even saying anything to
Oh, okay.
supervisors.
Okay,
This
you're
is their
not-
baby. I didn't know you
Okay,
guys were
all
even
right.
talking about this.
Oh, okay.
But
So are you giving them feedback, the supervisors, from our discussion?
do you want to know what Litton's feedback was?
What was
hell
it?
no.
Uh-oh.
This in no way benefits the city.
Oh, you're
See,
kidding.
now
So-
The way
affordable,
I look at it is, I'm thinking it's gonna be more trouble for the city.
I do
because
too.
We're gonna say, it's okay for you to ride your ATV.
Right, right.
We don't want that going around.
here's what the city of Odebolt did, is they did a user fee where they have to register it with the city. It's a revenue generating thing that they gotta come in and show the city clerk proof of insurance and a valid license and pay a fee. And then they get a little sticker to put on it for that year.
They gotta be
Um,
18.
I think they gotta be 16, they have to be a licensed driver. but the county's not going to do that because they're not interested in making a revenue generating thing as much as they are equal opportunity, and that's why they're making them be legally registered through the DNR.
Wow.
One thing it is, four-wheelers was not as hot now it was 10 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
every Tom, Dick, and Harry and Jane all had one.
There is some resistance,
I never had a four-wheeler.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, Mary or,
I always had.
but the other thing by doing that is if you throw in a UTV ordinance, and Sac City's interested in doing this because they have certain businesses that have UTVs with snow plows on them, or like Ingalls, Margles, you know, they have those. And technically, they're illegal to drive down the road. I mean, even if you got a snowplow in the front of your four-wheeler and you're pushing this sidewalk and you drive across the street to push somebody else, that's illegal. You cannot do that. Now, do most of us turn a blind eye to that? But at some point, the hands are going to be forced and somebody's going to get a ticket, and then they're going to be bitching because I've done it for 25 years and nobody ever did anything. You know? So there's a lot to consider with that, but you know, the golf cart thing, I see, you know, maybe I'm jumping ahead, but, you know, most of the cities around us have them and they seem to work pretty good. You gotta have a flag, a licensed driver, and an SMV emblem on the back of them. And again, you can't primarily drive them up down a primary highway. You know,
Yeah.
so,
I think
No, I
that's
don't
what our
like golf
states
carts,
do.
but there's a lot of ones that are little drivers.
Yeah, there's been some.
well, how much was that?
$530
I wrote
some dollars.
$535 worth of tickets to a lady in Lytton last week driving a golf cart down the street, so.
535
It's,
tickets?
no, dollars worth.
Dollars.
$335 ticket because she didn't have a driver's license, and a $200 ticket because she didn't meet the ordinance requirements with the flag and the SMV emblem, so it's expensive.
Oh.
It's a $200 ticket.
Well, I think
Well, I
that
got mine
information
on.
needs to be in the newsletter
Okay.
about golf carts.
Yeah.
So
But they have to
people,
be licensed
they have to be a
driver.
I
licensed
think our state
driver.
said it has to be
But it
Not a
says
permit
18.
or anything, it has to be.
But a golf cart shall not be operated on a city street which is a primary road extension.
71, 175.
71, 175.
Oh, okay.
One of these ones on it.
Cross a city street.
Yeah, it says licensed driver.
It's
Yeah.
Valid
not
driver's
driver's
license.
Well, that means you gotta be 16 to have a
Right.
valid driver's license.
You know?
And this one even goes as far as to say sunrise to sunset.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta have
'Cause there have
lights on.
been some out after sunset.
I don't see no problem with this ordinance.
No,
I didn't think you would either, but
I move we leave it at that.
No, but we, at the sale the other day, I asked Nancy to bring this up because I didn't know we had one. So I had contacted Templeton, got a copy of theirs, Lauderdale's. I was gonna combine them and bring one to us, but I didn't know we already had one in place, so.
Why would we keep this one in?
So
and
what's,
stay
what's
with
the action that we need here?
If-
Nothing?
there's no action actually. If you have a message that you want me, a consensus of a message you want me to send to the supervisors, great, and if not, that's fine too.
is there anything specific you want passed on to the supervisors
I
about
think it's, I don't see any
the
problem.
ATV?
I know that they come into town and stuff, but I don't think, it should, what's good, what's legal for the farmers should be legal for everybody
I
else.
agree. I think you should level.
I don't think
things.
that's right, they've gotten away with a lot of stuff.
Taxes.
Yeah, right off, but that's not,
Hey, what the, Jerry?
18?
Come here,
Okay,
Jerry.
Nancy, did you get that message? You got enough information?
Yeah.
Okay, and we're all on the same page with golf carts?
Yep.
And you're gonna put that information in the newsletter for the golf carts? All right. Kenny, anything else you wanna add?
Well, I don't know, we're just having so much damn fun.
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything else to add, you know,
Okay.
Okay, then, moving on, resolution authorizing fund transfer. Resolution 14.
this is again one of those end of the year formalities that we have to go through.
For that period of time, it's not a city street.
I would make a
for
motion
all
to
intents
approve resolution
That's what I'm wondering.
14A.
Because otherwise the guys are walking there and all of a sudden you're on the street, even though it's blocked off, and they say, oh, you're drinking on a city street.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I didn't know if you had any, anybody had any questions? I mean, that was so fast.
Yeah.
I was all prepared for an explanation,
I
but
was too.
that's
I even
okay.
had notes, I was ready.
Well, we don't wanna waste your time.
No, motion, second, all in favor.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. All right, resolution 9. And that's the same thing, just a formality. Resolution setting salaries for 2015. That's just a matter of changing the date, right, Nancy?
Right. This resolution gives this authority for one fiscal year at a time. And so that's why it's here tonight, because 1st of July, it would have ended. Now, we can change that if you'd like, but it's something that, a salary roulette resolution is something auditors want you to address every year anyway, so.
What I talked to Nancy about is that we could make it open-ended in the sense that every year it isn't necessary to approve a resolution so that so that the people can go ahead, the employees can go ahead and get paid, and in case there's some impasse on the council about the wages, approving any increase on the wages. Because that's, as you know, what we ran into before. So I suggested considering not making it fiscal year by fiscal year, and instead making it until such time changed, so that people could, it's a continuum until we decide to raise or lower the wages. So it does not provide a trigger for non-payment of salary to employees. But I didn't know what you guys would think, and,
Right, because last time we had to backdate and it was kind of
right. So
What's your motion?
well, I didn't come up with a motion
We're
yet,
just
Mr.
discussing.
Schulte. I was just
Just wondering.
suggesting the option of leaving
I
it rather
think he's
than
trying to tell you to get moving there. is what he-
and rather than doing it fiscal year by fiscal year, you could simply say, these are their wages until such time it's changed. And so we still do a resolution, but we say, these are their wages until such time it's changed.
But still, don't we have to update the resolution every year?
if we change wages, yes.
Right, correct.
Well, I think we can try this. We may get corrected on audit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's not gonna.
But-
be us audit.
From
But-
what, at least from what Gaffney told me, he said you don't have to go through this hassle. You can still have that standing resolution until such time you change the wages. What it protects against is that if the council has some disagreement about what the employees should be paid, and it's coming around to the end of June, and you're crossing fiscal years, it will continue to get the employees paid if you have it open-ended.
I can go either way with it, okay? And if we get into an auditor situation and they don't like it, then we'll change it back. So whatever you guys decide, I think we can live with. As long as we're doing it in the form of a resolution, it's your resolution to make, I think.
Okay. Then I make a motion that we adjust Resolution 1409 to have it ongoing, and that these are the current wage rates. You don't need all that, but that Resolution 1409 be ongoing rather than specific year by year, fiscal year. That's my first
Okay.
motion.
I'll second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. My second motion is that we approve Resolution 1409 with the changes we just made.
sit and wait.
But we could go on to reports and discussion.
Okay, skip down.
Yeah.
Okay,
Public
public forum.
Oh, here she comes.
Right there.
Oh, here she comes. Earl, do you have anything for the public forum?
No,
For the
You're just
public
hanging
good.
out?
For the
Just
public
hanging
good.
out?
I just here out of curiosity.
Okay.
Tell her she owes everybody
Perfect
$10.
timing.
Yeah, perfect. Hope you didn't
It's ready
speed.
for ya.
Are you kidding?
Well, we have the sheriff here. We have the sheriff here, so you're okay in Sac County.
Oh,
Oh, she says, I don't want to tell everybody what I just did. Oh.
Satellite's not at all.
oh no. Okay, ready?
Listen, got that.
Shall I go ahead?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're ready.
Renee's gonna pass out our wonderful insurance rates.
Actually, it went down a little bit, so
All right.
We're in good shape.
We just want to cut you, miss. Jerry, you got a second?
Yeah.
here we go.
Don't come back, we'll
Yep.
post bail.
Okay, good. Sure you will.
If you're gonna cuff him, I want a
If you're gonna
camera.
talk insurance, I'm gonna go leave.
You got everything.
You probably got a couple hundred for me to sign, don't you? Yep. All right, so overall, our premium went down a little bit. The municipal general liability we
Hold
carry
chair.
is 2 million, so we have 2 million general liability. We have 2 million across the board. We have 2 million municipal auto liability, and we have 2 million public officials liability, and police professional excess liability of 2 million. So across the board, we have 2 million.
And that's
Good.
adequate, Renee, for this size community and past experience and that sort of thing.
Right. You never know what is enough. It's where your comfort level is, basically. They have done away with the 1 million limit now. The really small towns had a million, the really little ones, but they have bumped everybody up to 2 million, I can guess. So, let's see, we have towns of, with 2,000 enrollment that are at 3 million. Most of my smaller towns are at the 2 million. It's whatever your comfort level is, because if somebody, for instance, your public official's liability is if someone deems that you erred in your decision making and didn't put, that probably doesn't have anything to do with stop signs, but you didn't put an electrical line up a certain spot and it was all your fault that something bad occurred to them. You have 2 million plus your defense on top of that. So your defense cost doesn't eat up the 2 million. So you have 2 million.
The short answer is yes,
Well-
you know us, you know our situation, and you're thinking 2 million is adequate.
2 million, but again, it's where your comfort level is, so, but most of the small cities run 2 million. Municipal auto liability, you carry, you have a 1999 Ford F-150 and then a 1996 International truck, snowplow, and that's what you carry full coverage. And then we have a little antique car truck. You might run in parades and such. On the municipal liability on the first page, we are primary, the city of Auburn is primary liability on the little site that Merrill and Deborah Ludwig have, and the site that Jeff Hudson has. Merrill and Deborah Ludwig is where we have a little gazebo where kids can, and so our liability there is primary. So if something occurs there, cities pays first before theirs does.
The Jeff Hudson property should be off.
It should be off now? Okay, I'll
He
delete it.
doesn't own that property.
Oh,
Who does?
And we don't have it leased either.
We don't have nothing to do on it anymore.
okay, so
I
delete.
thought we
Yeah,
did,
just delete.
we took care of that last year, I think, Renee, and
We
it just
took
didn't
care
get
of-
taken off your
We,
template.
actually, we took care of another one last year, so maybe I missed, we had a third one on there. That the property you had for the centennial maybe
Partridge.
celebration? Partridge, yeah.
Yeah,
So I took that one off last year, but I bet I missed this Hudson one.
yep.
So I'll take that off then. We also have on our auto liability, we've hired a non-owned auto coverage. And what that means is that if you're in a hurry, you're going somewhere for the city, and you cause a bad accident and the city is named, the city also has liability coverage on top of your own liability. Public officials liability again covers you for any decision making that anyone would deem is incorrect. That also, public officials liability and general liability also extends to your volunteers. So that we have several boards listed under here, and that extends to all those boards, all the volunteers for the boards, everybody. It's very comprehensive, so it's a great coverage. Police professional, then property coverage, the building and contents are blanketed. Again, that means if one building, if we have a loss to the city hall, and it actually costs us more than we had the replacement value at, they would actually pay legal fees. They just come through great on that. So we have $1,000 deductible and replacement cost coverage across the board. Then on inland marine, scheduled equipment is items over $10,000 and unscheduled equipment is items under $10,000. And a lot of the unscheduled equipment there is fire department equipment. Those suits run quite a bit of money, and there's replacement cost on them, so that's good.
Is that part of this printout here?
It is. All right, so, and let's look at actually your law enforcement excess liability is quite a bit less than other cities that don't contract. Theirs is quite a bit higher. But your list of your property locations is on this Excel spreadsheet here. And so you'll see the building value there, and then you'll see BPP is actually contents. It's business personal property. That actually means contents of that building. But again, it's blanketed. So let's say in location 3.3, the water treatment building, let's say there's something happens to it and there's $10,000 contents in there, they would pay 10. Because we have it blanketed throughout the town.
So you said you did give us a list of the scheduled property and the unscheduled property?
No, I'm sorry, no, there isn't a specific list on that, I apologize. It's listed right here on the location, but not a specific list, which I can certainly produce that, that's no problem. But it's an itemized list, and we review that every year to make sure that we have enough.
Would you do that? Because that would.
Absolutely, no problem.
Give Nancy a list or whatever.
Sure.
Because that will give us a list of equipment that's
Yes.
covered.
Yep.
Scheduled and unscheduled.
No problem. So our total premium this year is $9,296.31. Last year was $9,698.17. We have a little bit bigger vested member credit this year. And everything else kind of stayed real well, stayed pretty much the same. Auto liability went down a little bit.
Did we have any claims?
No, we didn't have any claims. It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
We really haven't had a claim since the
That's,
the new shop building.
great, yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Awesome. We should keep it up. We don't need to have the stone pillars go down or nothing like that. But the signage is absolutely fabulous, and you guys, this looks so amazing through here. We've had guests from foreign countries at our place this last 2 weeks, and we came through Auburn several times, and they just are amazing. Then I explained the taste of home, and you know, it's just a cool,
Story.
it's a cool story.
It really is.
Private design. I would make a motion that we approve the $9,296.31 in annual premium.
So,
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Renee.
hurrying to get here.
Yep, I am.
Took you longer to get here than you had to be here.
That's all right, though. All right, so got that done, and I'll
Yeah.
get that list over to you.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Have a good evening. What's left of it?
Jerry, you got anything for us?
I got tree trimming that's gotta be done, around electric lines.
Okay, so do we need to discuss who's gonna do that?
Kind of thing it is, I mean, it's electric lines, I don't wanna go travel around for, you know, 2 or 3 different people, each, you know, go through there. I mean, maybe we should go, they're gonna do for $50 an hour, one's gonna do for 60, the other's gonna do 70. I mean, that's, get a quote for just trimming
How
up.
much is there to do?
There's a lot more it is to get, basically, well, it's people's trees. The more I drive around, the more you kind of see, you know, it's just,
How many hours do you think?
you know, I don't know, I'm not trimming them, but I
what do you
mean,
mean people's trees, like people who live there, or what is that?
yeah, I
These are
mean,
on the power lines.
But I mean,
Personal
you're
property.
saying personal property trees, right?
yeah. But I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna keep, you know, drive around, you know, for 2 or 3 different people that drive around, you know, look at this and all that stuff. I think what we need to do is say, Justin's gonna do for $50 an hour, Randy's gonna do for $60 an hour, and Tina's gonna do for $70 an hour. You know, I mean,
Typical too.
you know, but basically, you know, get a bid what they do it, you know.
I know you're kidding.
So what you're saying is we need to have Nancy draw up some kind of
Proposal.
guidelines, and we need to send that out to,
Basically, contract of,
Yeah.
You know, when you gonna-
service, basically.
At an hourly rate, not at a time and materials, at an hourly rate as directed, the work directed by Jerry.
yeah.
Can we,
Right.
are you guys okay with that?
Yeah, go to a few people, have a submittal, a contract of services, and
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, if we're gonna have a big
Won't they
tree.
have to have kind of a ballpark to know, you know, how many hours you're talking about in order to set
no,
a
if we
rate?
got one
by
tree
the
that we
hour.
need.
Well,
to
and
down,
here's the other-
$50 an hour.
The other thing I would add to it is that this hourly rate is good for like 2 years or 3 years, so we don't have to address it every summer.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
Yeah.
get somebody to do it for that many years.
I don't know if you get 2 years.
Yeah, because
or-
I think
I don't
if
know.
you're gonna use.
Justin, you got a boom truck, you can do it from that, won't you?
That boom truck don't run on the air. What's that?
But I think that's what we need to do, is get some kind of guidelines,
And you guys choose the contractor based on their hourly rate,
yep,
and then they come to town and do the work Jerry asks them to do.
yep.
I mean, you get more looking around there,
I
there's
mean,
a lot.
we're not gonna call them and say, hey, we got one limb that's
One
close to
tree.
a line.
No, no,
come
no.
down.
No,
It's-
no.
That's-
It's gonna be, you know, we want you to come in, trim them back from the lines this year, this is the hourly rate.
Yeah. And when they trim those things, I can pick that stuff up, but when they
Yeah.
do a tree, I did that one time and I ain't gonna do that again, cause they chop that thing off and I'm stuck with the, you know,
Yeah,
but I'll pick up the branches off that there, but the more I get looking around there, it just,
Okay,
So do we need Nancy to write something up and then approve it at the next council meeting? Or are we just telling her to go ahead and go with it?
Now, let's put something together, Nancy, and we'll take action next month.
How soon does it need to be done,
Yeah,
Jerry? I mean, is
that's
it
what
an
I was
immediate
saying.
problem or is
No, I
it?
mean, it's not there, but I mean, the next month, we've gotta be starting on it. I mean, that's the thing it is, you know, it's not.
Well, if we do it this way, we approve the specs next month, we aren't approving a bid until August.
Yeah, it really puts it off.
Yeah, well, we
Are
gotta
you
be getting in there. 'cause
Okay with
there's-
that or not?
Can we not do, I mean, for the service contract, can we not do a unanimous consent? I mean, send it out to us, everybody take a look at it, if everybody's good with it, we send it out, and then we can hopefully have bids next month. I mean, is that not
Yeah.
okay?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I don't-
Okay.
That would, I mean, cause it's not a serious issue, the contract.
No.
That can, as long as everybody's okay with it.
He likes it. There's a few in there. You don't see it until the leaves get, you know, pushing out, and then you really, I mean, the branches really kind of shot in a few places. Okay.
That's fine, so.
Okay.
What are you smiling at me about?
So we'll come up with the proposal, you'll contact us all, and then we'll make the decision next meeting.
On bids.
Perfect,
Sealed bids in an envelope that we open at the meeting.
Yep.
that's fair. Great.
Anything
Okay.
else?
No. I'm gonna think of something when I leave here, but
Well, that don't count.
the trees an issue.
The mulch should be here the end of the week or the first of next week, but I don't know when. The roses are planted, and the only other thing I really have is I need to be gone probably most of tomorrow to get my mother moved from the hospital to the nursing home. And then I'll be around Thursday as usual, but if you're looking for me, call my cell phone, because that's where I'll be.
Alrighty.
So about Wednesday, you'll be here?
Yeah, tomorrow is Tuesday. I haven't even known what day of the week it is for the last,
Just throwing it out there.
yeah,
Jane?
thank you.
No, I don't have anything.
And we got your meter read this evening.
Sure, well,
Sheriff left. So we can't even question him on that crazy report.
I got a couple of things on the watering out here. Is there hose out here to water this stuff?
Yes, and I'll show you where the handle is for the faucet. I watered it this morning,
Good, thank you.
but I'll show you where to find the handle for the faucet.
Okay. If I need to water tomorrow or anything, if you watered it pretty good this morning, right?
She soaked it pretty good,
Okay,
Yeah,
and it looks good.
okay.
it's coming back. They were really poor looking this morning,
Yeah.
and it went,
Well, I didn't even, I had kids all weekend since Thursday,
I'm
so.
gonna do roses early in the morning, you know, kind of soak it with plant, and then I'm supposed to go
Soak it
down.
from the bottom, Jerry. You don't want to pour water over the top of roses, right?
Right, you should always water from the bottom.
Cindy says so too.
Well, but.
just pour the
What are you
damn
doing
water
at
on
3
them.
o'clock tomorrow morning?
I got one more thing.
I'll be up feeding my son, you can stop up.
What's the speed limit in the residential?
Oh.
So 25, isn't that standard?
Standard is
don't-
25.
Yeah.
Standard is, but I don't know what state law is.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
People speeding around.
well, just on that, on Spruce Street, Abby called me and I told her to go straight to the source, whoever it was, call him, and she did. And I says, this guy's pretty decent. Well, it didn't go as well as what I thought it would have went. And they argued about, well, there's no speed limit sign posted.
You know,
So I don't know, you get one requesting, you know, slow children, that, you know, and then you get, then you get another one, and I've had several complaints from Andrew and Abby. But I don't say anything, but maybe a speed limit sign would stop it, because
then we've got
I
to
made
put
her
one
go to
on
the
every
source.
block on,
Have you gone to
every-
the source?
I didn't go to the source, I didn't have the complaint, Abby did, she called them.
But I mean, would it help if someone on the
I don't
city
know.
council would go to this person?
is it a
I might
resident?
talk to 'em.
Is it a resident?
No, it was a business, but they're grain trucks. It was Stan. And I like Stan, he's on the city council in Litterdale. And you would have thought he would have understood, but
I
Abby
would
said
say
he
you're a
got
council
kind of.
member or mayor or Or Mayor Pro Tem.
Let me go talk to
Yeah, I
Stan.
don't have a problem. Stan comes in the
Yeah,
welding shop all the
he's
time.
real good, that's what I told Abby. Maybe she just come across kind of
She
rough.
might have, yeah,
Yeah.
Was it
so-
Stan driving it?
No,
it was Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
Mark Carroll.
And if she talked to Mark, she probably did get attitude.
Well, she didn't talk
Probably
to Mark,
because he
she
was sitting
talked
there
to
staring up and
Stan.
down.
But Stan said,
Yeah.
how do you know?
Oh, you know him too.
I know Mark well.
Stan says, well, how do you know it was my truck? And she says, well, he just went by here 10, 15 minutes ago. Well, that was my truck. So,
It ain't just him, I mean, there's,
but you know, if somebody
Cars,
gets killed, then the
it's
city's gonna have a lawsuit. I don't care what anybody says. Somebody gets killed, we've had all these warnings,
Yeah.
and it takes a
So
little
this
bit
has
of time.
happened before?
Yes, with other trucks.
With other trucks
Well,
or with Auburn feet,
Not with Auburn feet, but the other.
with Moore's?
Yeah,
Moore's, I've
And-
never seen them go by my house whatsoever speeding.
I know Abby's yelled at him, okay, Jerry?
Yeah.
That's all I know. Abby's yelled at him.
I live there too, so.
But maybe it's not actually Jared. I mean, there's a lot of trucks.
Yeah,
that
there's a
come
lot
in
of trucks.
out
It could be
town.
anybody.
Well, and you would be really surprised when you watch traffic go by that 35 is a whole lot faster than you think it is.
Yeah.
Or 25 is a whole lot faster than you think it is.
Yeah,
When you actually, I mean, I've asked them out here and they'll sit and clock and it's like, no, he was legal.
I will say the other day, I did see down at that corner, there by Jim and
that's
James.
that's another thing I was gonna bring
they,
up.
they spilled gravel, and I did see Jared out there with the
he
payloader.
does clean that all up.
And he swept, he had a broom out there one day, yeah, I think it was sand or something, but he broomed it up and shoveled it up, I thought that was
Yep.
awfully
He's
good.
dumped
of him.
cement down the highway twice, several
Oh,
times,
has he?
last year and this
Yeah.
year.
And they've always been.
And they always clean it
They've
up.
been very good about cleaning up their
Yeah.
messes that they're making there.
Yep.
But that hedge there is another bad thing with those cement trucks just
What
come.
is?
The hedge on Oddman's.
That's
It's
always-
really
Yeah.
not city.
That needs,
that's a very
that
nice-
needs,
That's
you
a
guys
blind
need to
corner.
address that because that's on
That is
city right away.
That's a
Oh,
blind corner.
Andrew
That is.
almost got clocked.
You can't even
I just
hardly
keep-
walk around
you know,
that
you're
No,
corner.
not-
that's true.
It doesn't do me.
I've ridden
any
my
good to
bike
say
around there and you hug that corner because
You
you
do.
don't. 'cause
I
people
thought
come
that was
around
being
there, you're
taken
like,
it. And you don't see them with
Yeah.
it. You can see them
Didn't
when there's
work?
no leaves.
Yeah.
But
Kind of,
in
when it
the
kind of
spring,
comes back. But
some of them
I
can't.
brought it
So
up
do we need to put that on the
years
agenda
ago,
for
and
next
he
month
did cut it
so
down,
we can
then just let things grow.
Well,
Is
and,
that on city property?
That's
Yeah.
on city
So
property.
we have the right to cut it down if we want.
No,
No.
you have a right to cut it down.
That's fine, I'll cut it down. They don't like me anyway.
This has
Yeah.
been
I
addressed
know.
before.
Yeah, I mean, that's just,
I'm okay with that.
When
covering
Larry was
everything up.
mayor, that was a big problem.
and the worst part is they let him keep them.
Yeah,
They should have never let him keep them.
he raised such a stink. It should have never.
Well, thank you.
It was that way for years.
You gonna handle that one, Justin?
On the agenda for next month, or are you just gonna go do it?
But we did that.
Okay.